We have arrived into week 7 of the counting of the Omer. Whether or not you have been on the journey watching each teaching and hearing each song and prayer as it's come, or if this is your very first time, welcome. Each week we have been spiritually preparing for the receiving of Torah that we're doing at Shavuot. We started at Passover and we've counted up these 7 weeks from Passover, from Pesach to Shavuot. And so now Shavuot is coming in just a few days. And each week we've talked about a spiritual lesson for us to prepare for the week, focused on a midah, a spiritual value. And in this week, I've really been thinking a lot about receiving, now that we've made it towards just about the end and we're going to receive the gift of Torah, of wisdom, of insight on Shavuot. And we remember being together with all of our people at the foot of the mountain to receive. And the last couple of weeks we've been talking about how to prepare for receiving, softening our hearts with beauty and wonder, and developing our capacity for patience and endurance. And this last week, week 7, is Malchut, and a sense of material grounding right where we are. And I was thinking about, what do we need to fully receive? And it led me to this idea of what is the stance we want to be in when we receive. And one of the people who talk about spiritual, continuous, conscious stance for how we walk through life is Rabbi Eliyahu Dessler. He was a 20th century rabbi who was a Musar teacher. And he had, one of his teachings was a pretty absolutist view, which I want to share, and then we can unpack how that feels, if it needs to feel so absolutist. But in his view, there are 2 kinds of people: givers and takers. And giving, he said, is the stance that we're all cultivating, that it should be our life stance for all of us. It puts us in direct connection with the divine, in a place of gratitude that moves into love through giving. And on the other side are takers, people who have a relationship to life, to the world, to everybody around them that's about taking. And he says that could be in like criminal ways, like being a robber. It could be in big ways, like stealing life through war and genocide. Or he said it's just an everyday approach to ourselves, those around us, to the world, to the divine, that we are takers rather than givers. I think it doesn't have to be that absolute, and there are factors that go into our life stance as givers or takers if you want to. But I want to invite you to try this on this week, because it brings us full circle in the teachings of the Omer, because we started with chesed, with kindness, and this approach to being centered in what is our daily life stance. This is also a teaching of chesed. So we go from chesed to chesed in these 7 weeks. And as a practice, I want to invite you, nudge you, challenge you, based on this idea of being a giver, and being a giver as a way to prepare to receive wisdom and insight. I want to invite you to this particular practice, which is this. For most of us, I think probably the majority of us, when someone comes to our house or to our community as a guest, we know to treat them with great respect and to honor, and to ask, do you need something? Would you like water? Can I make you more comfortable? Do you need food? Welcome. We're welcoming, yes? But often we are not so welcoming and in a place of giving with those who we spend the most time with each day. So the offering in this practice is to see if you could see the people who you share a house with as guests. Maybe you could do that each day for a period of time, or maybe you could do it one day because that's all you got right now. And that is to see them as guests that you are going to help to give to and to shift into a stance of giving. And see where that takes you. You know, you might be home and one of your kids walks in, or a partner or a lover or a grandparent or whatever it is. And what would it be inside of you to see them as a guest in terms of how you approach them? And let's see if these next days, as we lead up to receiving, we can be in this place of giving. And if there's no one in your house, you can treat your pet well if you have a pet, or perhaps it's a neighbor or a colleague from work. Even if you're just on a Zoom, what would that be like to treat them as a guest? And to use that stance of being a giver, as being rooted in chesed, as what grounds us in this place of malchut, in the material, in the grounded sense of right here, as we approach Shavuot. Pitchu li sharei tzedek. Open for me the gates of righteousness. As these gates open, or as we come to the mountain to receive Torah, whatever metaphor works for you, may each of us be in a place, in a stance of giving, so that we feel the flow from the divine through us out and into the world, so that we can be in a place of giving even as we receive. So that giving allows us to receive in a way that's not about taking, but about receiving. May each of you receive the wisdom and the Torah that you're needing right now, the insight, the support, all of it. Pitchu li sharei tzedek. Open for me, open for all of us, these gates of righteousness. Happy Shavuot, Hag Sameach. For those of you in LA, we look forward to celebrating with you, with the Nefesh community. And those of you not in LA and all over the world, may your learning on Shavuot, may your receiving be meaningful and abundant. Hag Sameach. Happy Shavuot.
Everybody, I have my brother from another mother here from Moshav, Yehuda Solomon. We're going to sing something for you. Chag Sameach, Chag Sameach. Chag Sameach.
Sameach.